You did everything right, fixed the diet. Removed the junk. Started walking after meals. Got your insulin tested, the belly fat is still there, something is working against you. Silently. Without obvious symptoms. A second hormone that has been sabotaging every effort you made before you even knew insulin resistance existed, that hormone is cortisol. And it is more dangerous than most people realize. In the next 10 minutes, what cortisol is doing inside your body right now. Why it makes fat loss almost impossible. And the exact steps to fix it starting today. Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands, two small glands above your kidneys. The moment your brain perceives a threat, work deadline, difficult conversation, bad news, cortisol hits your bloodstream in seconds. It does three things immediately: raises blood sugar, suppresses immunity, shuts down everything non-essential, digestion, repair, reproduction, and redirects all energy toward survival. This system saved our ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. The problem: it was designed for threats that lasted minutes. Not the chronic low-grade stress of modern life that never turns off. When cortisol stays elevated day after day, your body enters a permanent fat storage state. Here is exactly what that looks like. Cortisol raises blood sugar, which triggers insulin. Insulin and cortisol fire together every time you are stressed. This means perfect diet, zero results, if cortisol is chronically elevated. You cannot out-eat a cortisol problem. Cortisol deposits fat specifically in the abdomen. Abdominal fat cells have more cortisol receptors than anywhere else in the body. The hormone actively pulls fat from other areas and locks it into your midsection. This is not overeating. This is hormonal fat direction. Cortisol destroys muscle. It breaks down muscle protein and converts it to glucose for emergency energy. Less muscle means slower metabolism. Slower metabolism means the same food that once maintained your weight now creates a surplus. Cortisol drives cravings. When cortisol is high, your brain releases neuropeptide Y, a compound that creates irresistible appetite for sugar and fat. This is not willpower. This is chemistry. Cortisol destroys sleep. Poor sleep raises cortisol. High cortisol destroys sleep. The cycle compounds every single night. Now the 7 signs your cortisol is currently elevated. 1. You wake between 2 and 4 a.m. and cannot return to sleep. 2. Exhausted in the morning, wired at 11 p.m. 3. Belly fat that ignores diet and exercise. 4. Intense sugar or salt cravings between 2 and 4 p.m. 5. Anxiety without a clear reason. 6. You catch every illness that passes through your environment. 7. Elevated blood pressure with no obvious cause. Count your number. 3 or more means cortisol is actively working against you right now. Before the protocol, 1 second of your time. This series has given you information your doctor never gave you. A subscription costs you nothing and takes 1 second. It tells me this work matters. And the next video, the thyroid, is the piece that completes everything we have built in this series. Hit subscribe now. Then the protocol. 3 components. Each one addresses a different cortisol mechanism. Component 1. Morning light exposure. This is the most powerful cortisol intervention that exists. And it is completely free. Cortisol follows your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is set by the first light your eyes receive in the morning. Bright natural light within 30 minutes of waking triggers a healthy cortisol morning peak, high at 8 a.m. declining steadily to low at midnight. This rhythm programs your entire day. When you wake and immediately look at your phone, the light signal never arrives. Cortisol fails to peak in the morning and surges at night instead. This is why you wake at 3 a.m. The fix. Within 30 minutes of waking, go outside. No sunglasses. No window glass between you and the sky. 5 minutes minimum. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is 10 to 50 times brighter than indoor lighting. 2 weeks of consistent morning light exposure improves sleep quality and reduces evening cortisol more reliably than any supplement available. Component 2. Eliminate 4 hidden cortisol triggers. Trigger 1. Caffeine afternoon. The half-life of caffeine is 5 to 7 hours. A coffee at 1 p.m. is still half active at 8 p.m., elevating cortisol into the night. Cut all caffeine after noon. Trigger 2. Intense exercise after 6 p.m. Exercise raises cortisol, which is necessary during training. But evening high intensity keeps cortisol elevated when it needs to be declining. Move intense training to morning. Evening exercise should be walking only. Trigger 3. Blue light after 9 p.m. Your eyes contain melanopsin receptors that detect blue light and signal your brain that it is still daytime. Cortisol stays elevated. Melatonin is suppressed. Sleep collapses. Night mode on all screens after 9 p.m. Blue light glasses if possible. Trigger 4. Refined carbohydrates at dinner. Evening sugar and refined carbs spike blood sugar, which spikes insulin, which triggers a cortisol response that runs through the night, causing the 2 to 4 a.m. waking pattern exactly. Last meal should be protein and healthy fat. 0 refined carbs after 6 p.m. Component 3. 3 nutrients that directly lower cortisol. Magnesium glycinate. Magnesium acts as a natural brake on the HPA axis, the system that fires cortisol. Deficiency means the cortisol brake is missing. Dose: 300 to 400 mg in the evening. This is the foundation. Start here before anything else. Ashwagandha. A double-blind trial found that 600 mg of ashwagandha root extract daily for 60 days reduced cortisol by 27.9% on average. Dose: 300 to 600 mg of KSM, 66 or sensoril extract in the evening. Note: ashwagandha interacts with thyroid medications. Consult your doctor if applicable. Phosphatidylserine blunts the cortisol spike caused by intense exercise. Dose: 400 to 800 mg before training. Relevant if your workouts are making your stress symptoms worse rather than better. Here is the most important thing to understand: cortisol and insulin are not two separate problems. They are one problem with two faces. High cortisol triggers insulin. High insulin creates stress that triggers cortisol. A closed loop that tightens over time. Fixing insulin without cortisol, slow results. Fixing cortisol without insulin, slow results. Both together, the system begins to reset. The protocol from video 6 works faster when cortisol is managed. These are not independent interventions. They are a system. In the next video, the thyroid. The third hormone in this system. The one that standard blood tests almost always miss. Your numbers can be perfectly normal while your thyroid functions at 60% of optimal, causing fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, and cold intolerance that no diet or exercise protocol can touch. Comment below, how many of the 7 signs applied to you? Write your number. I read every comment. If you know someone doing everything right and still stuck, send them this video. It might be the answer they have been looking for. General educational content only. Always consult your physician before changing your health regimen or supplement routine. See you in the next one.